In the time before the Titans, before the gods of Olympus, a great battle was waged.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my God of War Ascension Titan difficulty video walkthrough. This is the Oracle's Chamber, and this is some running towards the camera, Crash Bandicoot-esque Mickey Mouse QuickTime event bullshit. Funny story on hard, I died more times on this bit running towards the camera, and just the ridiculous, you have to shimmy to the right and then jump in a split second or you die, and there's your lesson. And I died more times on this than I did on the boss when I got to him, because this boss is not that challenging. He does have a couple of attacks that do a lot of damage, and there are quite a few phases to the battle, but the battle has so many checkpoints, it makes it a hell of a lot more doable than it would be if it was like some of the other ones, because some bosses don't have as many checkpoints as this one, and you should definitely see that as a blessing. And this is weird as well. Why the hell would you press triangle to jump off a rock? So much weird stuff in this game. But this first phase, I throw the rock at him. I don't really know if it's the best thing to do at that point, but it's still pretty fun. He rebuilds the arena, and he's going to start trying to do these crazy space-time power things. So I knock the pillars off and I throw the pillars at him, because it seems to do quite a lot of damage. It's quite low maintenance, you don't have to put too much effort in to deal some damage. He's going to teleport towards you. You can block pretty much all of his attacks, but he does have a handful of unblockable ones, and they generally come at the end of the combos, like that one there. That move that he did just then is unblockable because it's got a ground shockwave. That move he did there, he generally does that twice. And as I mentioned, when you hit him with the rocks, which is what I'm doing, there's the one when he catches me. As soon as you hit him, you can then do a combo on him if you're close enough. The only problem is, if his back isn't against the wall, you will knock him out of your range. And, little things like that make this game a little bit more frustrating than it need be. But you can probably just space this guy and keep hitting him, because this phase is really quite simple. You'll get clipped a few times if you get careless, and I always get careless on bosses, it's just how I play. But as you can see, just a couple of hits, evade, couple of hits, evade. When you see him stagger or stun, then you can go in and start doing the fancier combos, perhaps finish with a nice power hit. And just be aware he's going to teleport quite a lot, but as long as you're rolling and you're using the tapping square roll method, which makes you faster, it's really not that much of a threat. This is, though, because Kratos can't jump. God, I hate Kratos' jump. The guy's such a twat. Like, the guy jumps 500 feet from a tentacle over an ocean and lands on, like, a kraken's leg, and he can't jump over a 2-foot wall to get off a piece of rock that's about to fall. It's just hilariously bad. He's just so lazy. He really is. Maybe it is time to pack up his sandals and toga thing. But you'll notice now he's getting a little bit quicker with the teleports. He's a little bit more aggressive with them, but it's nothing too major. Just keep on getting the hits, trading with him when you can. Be careful of that. Good opportunity to beat him up though afterwards, because it has recovery frames. Once again, attack, then get back in, teleport. If you die a few times on this fight, you're going to learn what to expect, how he behaves, and that's when it really gets easy, because you know what he's going to do. But just because it's easy doesn't mean that you won't die, because that's one of the things with games. If somebody has a power attack or an attack that does a lot of damage, it only takes a couple of mistakes and you're retrying. Just be grateful, because if this was an older God of War, each one of these hits would have one-shot you, almost guaranteed, on Titan, because Titan used to mean something, and it really doesn't mean much on this. But here he goes. I think that move right there, I'm not too sure why the camera pulls out for that move. Do not stand in those green spots, they will slow you down. They're absolute nuisance. He spams them towards the end, which is not cool. But there's some life and what have you. This means he's going to change to the next phase. I believe this is a checkpoint. Just watch for the lower bottom corner saving, and it's a guaranteed checkpoint. And you'll notice he's rebuilt the rocks. So what we can do is we can smash them and we can throw rocks at him, which I just think it's the most fun part of this fight. And This is me having trouble getting out of the holes because Kratos can't jump for toffee. And if you do that, if you knock it down when he's on it, you get a guaranteed stun. But be careful, because on this phase he does this. It's his teleport, omni slash, you know, Zantizuken move. So what you want to do is what I just did. Spam roll. You don't have to get fancy, just spam the roll. You seem to be fine every time. If it does hit you, it's probably going to leave a mark. So just be aware, just be conscious that he does it a lot. And you'll notice he just can't seem to keep up with you. That move right there, though, can, because it's not directionally down anymore. He comes on an angle towards you, so just be aware that it's got some travel on it. But just keep throwing your rocks at him, keep capitalising when he's stunned, dodge him when he does his teleport slash, which he spams because he's a bitch. And you can see his shadow for where he's going to land, so be nowhere near that shadow, because it does have a radius of effect. And, you know, now that I've got my combos rolling, I can start hitting him with the power stuff. But even though you've got it up there, doesn't mean you have to go balls to the wall, because the amount of times that you'll die if you just mash and try and beat people like that, then where did that come from? That should have killed me. This is the hardest difficulty. There's no reason that should have taken so little life. I'm stunned at how easy this game is. So here he comes again, crazy slash mode. There's his recovery frames. That's me experimenting with the analogs, and I'm sorry, but they've killed that rage mode. Those analog moves are terrible. You might as well just stick to having a full meter and just getting the benefits off your standard moves. What were they thinking, really? I couldn't answer that question. This has got suddenly quite serious. I'm now on quite low life thanks to a few mistakes. He's spamming his slash. Fingers crossed he's close to dying. And there we go. This is spam his move and do his crazy get rid of the floor attack. And all you have to do here is stand on this furthest platform. There's the checkpoint, so even if you do die, which you might do on the next phase because it can be tricky, you're going to get all your life back. And I think that's fair. That was long enough of a boss for a checkpoint, I think. Don't get me wrong, it would have been a little frustrating having to go back to him being stood on the pillar and doing all the damage we did, but I think there's probably many ways of doing damage quicker to him than I just displayed. The techniques I've showed you is just, you know, be evasive, counter-punch him, and when he commits to that big attack, just get him for as long as you can, and then back away. It's smart play rather than skilled play, I would say, because it's not necessarily... You know, it doesn't require you to have ridiculous timing, doesn't require you to know all the special combos or the juggles or do any of the cancels or what have you, which, you know, God of War doesn't really have too much of that stuff, which is why I call it a simple game. And that's not to offend the people that like it, because the game does have depth, it's just depth in a different way. But this is the phase where I just block and I parry the projectile. You can always parry the first one. The second one hits me, even though I try my hardest to parry it, and my timing is pretty good. But for some reason it keeps tagging me. And you'll notice, it doesn't do hardly any damage. And we've already got him to, I think, halfway through this phase. That was a fail parry just then. So here he is again, he's back. He's doing that, which you can block. Be careful when you're close though, because that combo he just hit me with, that last hit is completely unblockable, and I think the ones before it hurt if they catch you too. But just watch this. Just wait for him, spam the first one back, and it's done. It's over. Well, it's not over yet, but it's... Yeah, it is. It is literally done. How stupid is that? It makes no sense at all. Just, what was it, 5 parries, 4 parries, not even that. And that final form is down. Just ridiculous. One thing I've noticed too for anybody trying, if you block the first of those energy that he fire at you, you can't parry any of the other ones. It's almost like you're locked in the blocking animation and you don't have the time to hit the parry. So parrying the first one is the best technique. I think there's too many recovery frames to parry the rest, although it might be my timing, and I'm sure if someone else has managed to do it, we'll see that surfacing on YouTube as the really skillful players turn up. But do the quick time commands and finish this guy off. And there's a Total Recall reference on the trophy you unlock on this bit, and it made me laugh. But I watched the Giant Bomb cast the other day, or I listened to it, should I say, and they didn't find it funny. Which, I like the guys at Giant Bomb, and I do like the podcast, and they are funny guys, but it didn't resonate with them at all. And also, I think they've patched this, because I've never seen Kratos step on this thing's face, but when I watched a video review, it showed it you in a good camera angle. Look at that. Every time for me it's done that, and I think they patched it. So my theory is, maybe because it's small, it looks almost like a child. There's that controversy of it looking like you're stepping on a child. It might be the extreme violence of stepping on someone's head, but that's never stopped them before. But if you watch the reviews, I think even the IGN review does it, or the game trailers, they step on him and you see it. You see his foot hit his face. And I've never seen that on my game, because I got it in fucking England time, which is a week later than the Americans. And that's a week later after everybody had bitched that it was misogynistic to step on a female's face who's been an utter cunt through the entire game. And I'm sorry guys, I love women and I still wanted Kratos to step on that bitch's face. Because there's this one really important thing. It's just a game. But this section here, do not fully rebuild this platform when you are down here, or you will glitch the camera and break the game. And I mean really break the game. The camera does not move, you cannot continue, you have killed your save. You have to reload the chapter. Luckily enough, you don't have to fight the boss again, because this is a different chapter. I've just kept it in this video because it doesn't technically start until we walk across this bridge. But you're going to see that in the next video. So thank you for watching, and you take care now.